Oh, dang, let's see. Oh, shit.
The following footage is probably going to be the most shocking thing that you've seen all month, potentially all year. I'm really hoping that this doesn't get me a community guideline violation, but I'm not going to hold my breath. It was some footage that was captured from Ukrainian reconnaissance drones somewhere out in the front and back and forth for a long time, but it appears that they're having a hard time making a decision. Maybe this is nature's way of saying that this whole conflict has been similar to Groundhog Day in that we've been waking up each day, reliving
That's so.
has been changing. It just keeps happening over and over again while we expect different results. By the way, there's a
Can you debunk the Trinity in 1 minute?
Well, it's very simple. They believe the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. These are all gods, but they are not the same as each other. They are all dependent on each other. If something is dependent on something else, it cannot be a creator. If Jesus walked the earth as a human being, he was to step and went to the toilet, do you not believe this deserves to be a God to worship? If the Father and the Son, Holy Spirit were separate, independent entities who can act independently, then they're not one God. The fact is, because they're one God, they're inseparable. And because they're one God, they always work in perfect union. But because they're one, they do not depend on anything outside of their own nature.
Ashley, welcome.
Divine persons eternally.
What are you doing up so early? How you doing, Ashley?
Can Jesus be fully human and experience genuine human limitations as God? Yes. Is Jesus the first creation? No, because if he had read the scriptures in context, that same Jesus who's truly human, he is the one who's sustaining his human existence. John 10:18. Our Lord says that when they destroy his
One day to say.
he will raise him up in 3 days. The reason the Father loves him because he lays his life down of his own accord. No one can take it away from him. So right there, Jesus is telling you, even as a man, he doesn't cease to be God. He doesn't cease to have sovereign control
Good, good, doing good.
because he determines when he
My cousin Catherine and I are we're starting to. It should be out. Well, there was an issue today, so hopefully it'll be published on Wednesday. So we'll have our podcast out on Wednesday, and we're writing some music, so that's very good. Trying to make some good content for you folks. I'm enjoying this communication stuff with people all around the world. I love it. I think it's the most awesome thing ever. I used to have to travel and spend thousands of dollars to go to different countries and stuff, and then you often, you would just stay in a resort area, not really get to know the locals or anything. And now, we can have people in their bedrooms in every country, all over the world, talking about, what scares them at night and what they love and who they love, and it's just freaking amazing that people are communicating all over I love it. I think it's awesome. I think everyone should go live and like spend like an hour a day either going live or visiting lives also. Kentucky, Declos says got a safe. Oh, got a safe for radio. I'm confused. Jerklos. Thank you for the like. Got a safe for radio. We understand what you mean, my friend. I'm in my own eyeballs. Let's see here. Let me turn that. There we go. Now it's going down a little bit. Nicely done. Nice Pablo. Hi, good you. Man, look, see what I'm talking about? We got bro. Hi, HAI. Goo. How are you, my friend? Osalarza. Asa. Let's see how that's pronounced. Osalarza. Am I close? Indonesia, man, welcome. So Indonesia and I've met and Malaysia and Japan. Not China yet. A lot of India, Malaysia, Japan. So that's very good. And you're the first guy I met from Indonesia. That's awesome. Let me see if I can pronounce it. Asalazra. Let's see if I can pronounce that. Wow, Indonesia. Sadan Mumtaz. Where are you from? How to pronounce Ocelazra? O C La Z. Ocelaz Z. Ocelaza. Ocelaza. That's the best I can do. And Fatu, how are you? Okay, let's show you guys. So I've got my wall here. So the be going live this, and I love to give people. So if you are interested in communicating with, learning about stuff, we'll be teaching, learning about, and I love it. So I have this is, and then all of these other folks. Their names from all around the world. That went looked out for. So this wall right here, we're having the whole green screen put up on the wall, and everybody who's interested, everybody who subscribes, in the first couple, we're gonna they'll drop of. So anybody's interested, let me know. I'd love to put your name up there, and names having good names. Like Ashley's on there, obviously, and then we have Lazra, man, that's awesome, and Fatou, Sedan, Sedan, Sedan. Let me show you here. My it's Sedan, spelled differently, but he's very awesome, and he sent a video of watching me on his television. Guys, let's see if I can. It's pretty so cool. Oh, back here, bam. Okay, here we go. All right. Here I am. Watching me on TV. That's so awesome. He's a good friend. He's a good friend of the channel. He's a good friend of the channel. That's awesome. So I'm really excited that we got a bunch of Indonesian. That's so cool. And guys, we got us a nice big brownie. I like chocolate. Let's get this happening here. You can check out my brownie. Okay, 1 second here. There we go. So it's midnight here, so it's very dark in Georgia here. So it's 16 at night right now. Oh gosh, I guess I'll look at my brownie. Look at that brownie. It's the world's largest brownie. At least right now. I don't on Earth right now. We're gonna take a nice here. Look at that. Look at that. Makes me happy. And then, of course, a glass of milk to go along with that brownie. We'll get that set up right now. Like check out this. We got bananas and big old watermelon. So we like to grow a lot of stuff. We have chickens too. And if you guys look at any of the lives, or no, sorry, it's a lot, most of the lives, and a lot of the, a lot of the, up have my chickens. I got 8 chickens. Ocelots. Um, I can't remember. Reds, lavender. They're beautiful, meaningful. They're gonna lay eggs and be my years and years and years. Let's see. All right, let's see if we can skip around. Let's see. I can talk about interesting stuff if you'd like, or I could answer your questions about anything you're interested in, with our chickens or cool things. Let's see. Hang on. So let me get back here. Okay, there we go. There we go. We've got the beautiful things out. So let's see if I can train Spaniard describing these Texas fried chicken. Indonesia. Let us see. I gotta move my mic so I can eat my brownies. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. Key in Boston. In Boston, Massachusetts. Thanks, brother. Just there's Key. And Key, the first one up there. I had a pretty good live earlier. I think it was after we came back from film from and recording the Key. Um, Key hee hee. I'm eating my chocolate brown in my teeth. Key. If you don't use key hee hee as like your punchline for things, you don't use key hee hee. Like instead of tee hee hee, if you don't use key hee hee to like do self promotion, do you do any YouTube or any online performance? Do you do any TikTok or YouTube or anything like that, Key? Or any kind of performance. I mean, even musician or stand up art, comedy or anything. If anything you do, you could use. You should. Are you interested at all or not? What, if you don't mind, what are your interests? Kee hee hee. Years ago. Okay. So, I think you have the kind of personality where you communicate so well with people, and from what I've seen all around the world. And as you can see, I mean, I'm not doing anything super complicated. I hit go live. I'm not even dressed good and put on any makeup. No, dude. I mean, maybe I don't know, but I think there's so many people on this planet that you, that you'll find people that either match your interests or they would like to watch your interests. Like think, there's people that watch people skydive, but would never skydive, right? So you might have to like, I like to smoke some pot and eat some brownies. Maximum Friends. That's an awesome name. What's up, Maximum Friend? And and Yeah, so having something like that key, and like I said, even if you don't want to show your face, I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to, because you can get made fun of and stuff like that. I mean, but yeah, obviously, look at me. My nose is crooked. This nostril's bigger than this nostril. Um, I got dandruff. My hair's greasy. I got chocolate in my teeth. But when people get excited and talk, oh my God, I'm talking to somebody from around the world. Somebody knows this and that, and it's so cool. And you seem to have an interest in communicating with people. I have to agree. I'm gonna tell you what one thing that oddly enough, okay, I'm 48 years old. Okay, when I went to high school in the early 2000, well, in the late 90s, in the 90s, people. This was before you had cell phones, before you had reality TV, stuff on the internet. No, none of that really. They had people would tell me that they should follow me around with cameras, like because I had good jokes and I like to talk to people and I was funny and whatnot, and obviously good looking. So they used to tell me back in the '90s that people should follow me around with cameras. Now we have people like the Kardashians and stuff that all people do is follow them around with cameras and they just live their life. Some people don't do anything at all, at all. I've got chickens. I grow my own food. Get my own eggs from the chickens or my pets. I have a cat. I have lots of interesting animals that come and visit my property. It's awesome. It's the thing is, it's I don't waste my time on other pursuits, and I can just hit go live and sit here and talk with you guys rather than going to a bar and getting hammered and not doing anything, talking to the same people. But the difference is, I would rather go online and talk to like, I mean, hundreds of people come in and out of my lives. Like there might only be 5 or 10 people at a time, but that's fine with me. What was your favorite high school memory? If you okay, so I've got two. All right, I've got two. One has to do with a girl. Okay, my high school girlfriend. So when we started to like talk to each other, me and this girl Allie, Ali was her name. Actually, I got it written down right here. That's how you spell her name, Ali. Here's some more chocolate brownie. um, and so well, we went. She had a party. She had two older brothers that were twins, and she had a party at her house. And she lived in a different neighborhood than I did, so a different group of friends. And I went. I was invited, so we ended up talking and having a good conversation. So she was older than me by a year. She was in like 11th grade when I was in 10th. She was in 12th when I was in 11th. And she didn't go to school until she had work. I can't remember what it was called, but basically she went to work, so she wouldn't come to school until like third or fourth period because she worked during the day, and to learn different things. And we had this place where we would smoke cigarettes. This is 30 years ago, and we were in the not a hallway. It was a stairwell that went out to the outside, so we could smoke. And if the teacher came, we could run. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, and then the door opens, and she grabs my hand and takes me out. And it was just like, and she was a very beautiful girl. But she liked to wear eye makeup. But she had woken up, and the first thing she thought of was, I want to hang out with Richard. So she comes and she grabs me and she pulls him, and she lived like 5 minute walk from the school. So we went back to her house and hung out all day. We cut school, and so that kind of like love, that kind of like, and we still talk to this day. She lives in Florida. I live here, but that kind of love that you can get with people, not the bullcrap love you see online these days. You got to be 6 feet tall, blah blah blah, all that crap. It's all fake. But like that kind of love, that was a great experience being pulled out in order to just go and hang out with a girl that thought a lot of you. She thought I was smart. I got a good personality, right? I got a huge nose. I'll show you. Who wants to see a picture of her? She was gorgeous. She was supermodel gorgeous. Is supermodel gorgeous. Let me show you guys here, or ladies here, everybody here. And for her to come grab me, For her to come grab me. It's here. Here it is. 30 years later, I'm still thinking. This is over 30 years later. I'm still thinking about it. So when a girl compliments a guy, that's huge. He'll remember for the rest of his life, and that was a great compliment. She could have done anything else. She could have gone anywhere else, but she came to school that she didn't have to be at to grab me by my hand. Because remember, there's no cell phones, so it's not like I'm just going to text you or call you. She walked to the school, found me, and drug me back to her house. So that was, that still sticks with me because, and I'm not good looking. I mean, I'm not. I guess I'm not, a garden gnome, but I'm not hot. I'm not muscular. I'm not like. But yeah, but she liked my personality. I was different than the other people she hung out with. Yeah, 100% of lifelong memory is stuck in there. All right, so let me show you guys a picture of her. Your folks. I'm not saying I'm not saying you men. I'm saying you people, you folks. You folks. Okay. There we are. Ready? Oh me, oh my. All right. Where am I going? Oops, what did I do? Okay, there. Sorry. Look at those eyes. Those almond eyes. Skinny little girl. Look at this. Like when I wasn't taking the pictures. Somebody else was taking the pictures. She was looking at me. She would just look at me with that smile, and then she would look at me with that smile, and that's me getting kissed on. And that's us at band practice, or me at band practice and stuff. Yeah, beautiful, huh? Beautiful. But that's the girl that did that. So we stayed together for 10 years. Thank you. Yeah, so that's a great memory. And see, like that kind of stuff is great. Um, that was probably my greatest memory of high school because of that. Sorry, I'm eating brownies. Sorry, but that beautiful woman. And the way you look at somebody when you love them. The way you look at somebody when you love them, or the way they look at you when they love you, you know, that's that. I mean, the picture I took of her. Sorry, my apologies, I hit the wrong button. So yeah, so the picture, you can just look at it like how like she's looking into my soul. You know, you can just see directly into your soul. She just knows. She's just saying, "I know, I love you." Right. And I would love to ask her if I could share our texts and like we when we were kids, we went to what's called senior week, and I don't know if you kids do senior week anymore, especially after COVID and stuff. But what senior week was the week seniors they finished they finished final exams. Yes, definitely still friends. So we're the week. Okay, seniors got out 1 week before the rest of the school got out. They did their exams and then they left school. So then we could go to Ocean City, Maryland, the beach and have the boardwalk and the party, and we could have the whole beach to just the seniors for 1 week. Then a week later, all the rest of the world would show up. So we had a week where it was just you didn't have any 12-year-old girls there. It was everybody was 18 or above because they were seniors, and so that senior week, I wasn't the senior; she was. So I left. I didn't do my exams. So I did well enough in school that by not doing my exams, failing my final exams, I still passed my classes. So I went with her in a Volkswagen Bug, like a 1960 Volkswagen Beetle, and we drove to Ocean City, which was only like 2.5 hours, but still a long time. The car doesn't have air conditioning. And when we were there, we just realized we didn't want to be hanging out with all these people and just getting hammered, drunk, party, and blah blah blah.
we wanted to go back to where we were comfortable and we wanted to be alone with each other. You know, we hitchhiked 2.5 hours from Ocean City, Maryland, back into Glen Burnie, Maryland, and we ended up. People gave us money to get on a bus. It was like $19, and we got on a bus and we took the bus the rest of the trip. The big bus dropped us off like 3 minutes from her house. So it was like, look, it was great. But that's the kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that was just like, as long as we were with each other, we were hitchhiking, But she knew that I would protect her with my life. We the story. I'll have to save the story for the podcast. Unfortunately, I don't. But we had lots of adventures. We weren't unsafe, and like I prepared, so we didn't just start hitchhiking. When we decided we were going home, I put. I made a bag. I took a bunch of trash bags and stuff, like large black, big trash bags that you would use to like clean up a construction site, just in case we needed to sleep outside. I would be able to build a shelter, and brought fresh water and stuff like that. I mean, we because when we were hitchhiking, we started walking. We walked for like 3-4 hours. It was dark. There was no street lights or anything. And then all of a sudden we come to this sign. And this sign says Bay Bridge 100 miles. So we lived about 20 miles from the Bay Bridge on the other side. So that means we still had 100 miles to go before we even get to the bridge. Then 20 miles from there before we get home. So that's just crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So we were like, and then we ended up getting picked up by this guy. I remember his name to this day, Steve Schmeltzer, and he caught crabs to send to Japan. He sold so that, and they would pay more for the blue crab than they would pay more for the Chesapeake Bay blue crab in Japan than Americans would pay. So that's how he made his money. But just an absolute incredible story. I mean, that guy was a great guy, and we got to sleep in a different area of our own that had a locked door, so we were protected throughout the night, and everything was great. We made it home like the next day, and it was just a great adventure, and we still talk about it to this day. Yeah, and it's like when I think high school, that's what I think of. I think of that adventure. And that and it went on for 10 years. That love, that we did a lot of adventures, a lot of learning together. So it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Really glad it happened. And I think people that don't do anything. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. It sounds like a lot of great memories. But I have to go. Hey, brother, it's 13th grade is the name of the 13th grade. It was supposed to be released today, but there was a technical issue, so it'll be Wednesday. But yeah, so it'll be on this channel, and then after the first 3 episodes are released, then it'll be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But yeah, 13th grade. So we're going to teach you interesting things that you didn't learn in 12th. I hope so, Maximum Friends. I hope I got a lot of interesting things to talk about. It was very good. I'm glad you pulled that story out of me. It really made it worthwhile to get online today. Thank you, brother. That's so cool. It was good to pull up her pictures. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. I really appreciate that. I appreciate how people will come. I appreciate it, brother. I like how that happens. It's like, and some people forget about things that they've done in life that were just beautifully awesome, and then sometimes you forget. I mean, I didn't tell that story in a long time, and somebody brought it out of me. And it's right now, Maximum Friends, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got online. I'm glad it came out of me. So it made this day much happier, and I feel bad for kids these days that are going through the COVID lifestyle. I think I can find good. I tell you, some memory has they absolutely are forever. And the thing is, and some of them drive you. Like some people see horrible things that drives them to do either very great things or very horrible things. But when love guides you, and I'm not saying like in a cheesy sense. I'm saying of love for your family, love for your friends, you know, and you just want the best for everybody. So this 13th grade thing we're doing, children have been taught a wackadoodle amounts of things, and a lot of it is stuff that that they shouldn't learn. When I was a kid, we didn't learn anything about sex until fifth grade, and that's when we were like 12 or 13 years old. Now they're learning it at such a younger age, and they're learning a lot in a lot more vulgar sense. And I'm not saying that's the right way or the wrong way to do it. I have no idea. I'm not a professional at that, but they have so many questions that they can't ask, and they're led in odd directions if they do. So I want to put up a platform where people can ask questions and stuff like that. If they say, "Well, my teacher said that elephant farts smell like bubblegum if you clip your toenails in the morning." Okay, but teachers used to be kids, and kids play pranks. So sometimes teachers play pranks. So maybe they just want to see if you sniff an elephant's butt, and then go, "Ha!" And that seems like what's going on a lot today is we're being pranked by a lot of people. So 13th grade is going to be what you didn't learn in school and how to learn. So like in schools, a lot of times you're taught what to learn, not how to learn. And we want to get across there to teach people how to learn and then have like testing and giving away prizes. So if we give you like 3 truths and a lie, if you like email in and say this one's not true, this wasn't true, here's the proof that it's true. I looked this up. Like, okay, you win a T-shirt. We'll give you shout outs, stuff like that. So there's things that you can win for finding lie. So that's the premise behind the podcast is teaching people, because you got, if you think about politics and stuff like that, you got people on both sides that will lie to get in power. And we want to teach people how to research for themselves so they can say, "Oh, you're trying to punk me. You're trying to punk me," stuff like that. So that's the premise of the website. Basically, is to teach kids how to check if they're being punked or pranked by anybody, friends, by their teachers, by their parents, by strangers. Just how to find out. No, they sure don't. That's completely done. And we want it. I want to bring a method to teach kids logic is exactly that, and to protect themselves from being pranked. Because the thing is, look how important. 1 year ago, the best thing you could do for the whole planet was to buy a Tesla. The best thing you could do was to buy a Tesla. For the whole planet, it's the best thing. Now it's the worst thing you can do. 1 year, 365 days went from the best thing you can do to the worst thing you can do. So hey, so is this a joke? What's the joke? What's the prank? Why isn't it the same people that tell us one thing are telling us something else just 1 year later? Is it that they're just pranking us because they're playing a big joke? So we need to figure that out so we know what to do, because the cars are expensive and the games that rich people play, they've got money. They can buy a Tesla for $100,000 and then decide, nah, I want to buy a Chevrolet. I want to buy a Ford. And they got money to do that. But if I buy a Tesla, I'm going to be paying for that for 7 years. And I'm going to be eating oatmeal to save money to pay for my car. I can't just in 1 year, because now they're putting it out, so now you can't sell it to anybody or whatever, because nobody wants a Tesla because it's the worst thing ever. So now I'm stuck with a car and a car payment for something that you told me would save the planet. All right, so we got to be able to look at things logically, and kids need to learn that first off bat. So I'm going to use the illogical thing you go to 13th grade first, then go through 1 through 12. Or as soon as possible, get to 13th grade. We're going to teach you how logic and reasoning works in a fun way and let you get promotions online, and giving you T-shirts and stuff and see online. I had logic in one of my classes. It was coupled with the math class. Okay, so you're old. You're old, either like me or older than me. When I went to school, I was born in 1977. When I went to school, they taught you how to balance a checkbook. In money class, and I think it was called money class. It wasn't even called finance. I mean, it might have been finance, but I think it was called the the options of money. So we called it money class. We call it cash class. We call it funny things. But they taught you how to handle your finances for a family and stuff, like what to do. Now they teach you none of that. I'll tell you something interesting. Right, 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 right. So schools don't teach it anymore. They have other things to teach. Unfortunately, people that there's a saying, people that can do people that can do things do those things. People that can't make things happen teach. Unfortunately, that's become the truth in a negative way. A lot of these super rich people and these elites can't run businesses so they can make millions of dollars. So they're pranking people so that they can make millions of dollars. They're pranking you. They're telling you things like hippopotamus farts smell like bubble gum. So then you end up, going and smelling a hippopotamus butt, but it smells like poop. And you're like, you crazy. And that's what they're going to do. If they say, maybe cats can be dogs and dogs can be cats, and then you get caught kissing a cat, and they're like, I pranked you. Because it seems like we're all being pranked for just the purpose of them staying rich. Yeah, and I love it. And they're hurting a lot of people. So I don't want to teach any kind of ideologies. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not an independent. Think I think those labels are going away in the next couple of elections. I mean, because from like 1990 to 2008, Democrats were MAGA. They wanted a wall. They wanted this, and that. Now they don't. They want the exact opposite. They don't care about anything but staying in. But that's unfortunate because they're hurting people. And the way you hurt people in America is you take their time away from them, the time that they could be making money. So if you're competing with the elite, and the thing is, they don't want competition. That's why they tell you things that you can't compete with them, or so you don't compete with them. They make you think that it's much more difficult than it is. Like, this is so complicated. This crazy political stuff is so complicated. You need to be a world class, lifelong politician to make it work. But then you have people like Ronald Reagan and stuff like that come in that were actors, and they make things work just fine. It's like, just teach me the rules of the game and I'll play the game. A lot of times, if you're good at one video game, you can be good at a bunch because you know the rules, how games work. I had foreign language in middle school. That was public school. They don't write. So I went to public school also. I went to Glen Burnie Senior High School, which is a public school. We had so many students there that we had a campus. We had like 6 buildings on the campus that you had to walk between. We actually had to go outside and to walk between buildings every day. And yes, we had to have, in order to graduate, we had to either have French, German, or Spanish. We had wood shop and metal shop. So every morning I had metal. In my career at high school, I had metal shop 1 and 2, independent study. Then I had wood shop 1, 2, and then independent study. So after those 3 years, I could do whatever I wanted. It was called after 2 years. Then it was called independent study. So I built a small little hovercraft. It was 4 feet around. Then we could go down the hallways on this cushion of air. And because I could use wood shop to build the body, and I used metal shop to make the chair system and to connect the exhaust from vacuum cleaner motors setups to blow air into the thing. So yeah, we had cool things to do like that. Now it's nothing like that, and they get paid. Now they get hundreds of millions more dollars than they did back when I was a kid, and they don't have we had 8 lathes, metal turning lathes. In my metal shop class, we had 8 or 12 wood turning lathes in my wood shop class. You go into schools, we had video production in elementary school called I can't remember what it was called, but we learned how to we made iron-ons So we learn how to use a camera to take the picture, to screen it out, to print, to make a negative, and then to make a silk screen, and to make our own iron-ons. And then we would sell the iron-ons for like $1 a piece, and and then we made money. So in school we learned how business works. We learned how the money works. Now you don't even know how money works. But yeah, so I want to teach these I want to have like a short, like 5 to 15 minute podcast that teaches kids, everybody, teaches anybody that wants to know just how basic stuff works. There's a lot of kids that are growing up without fathers. They don't know how to tie a tie, so then they'll never look at themselves looking in a mirror with a tie on. And they're like, I look good, and they put their shoulders up to look good with the tie on. Inside your body, they're not going to have that because they're just told, oh, it doesn't matter, blah, 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 go to school, and it's horrible. It's a horrible place, and having a Santiago. But yeah, so it's going to be really fun. And Santiago, how'd you like that? How'd you like that playhouse I built? 3 stories tall. That thing's huge. Hey, Key, I don't know if you're interested at all, Key, but I built the neighborhood. The neighbors, I helped build. My actual job. I'm laid off now, and I'm doing the YouTube thing. Let me explain. So my job is I work for the movie industry, and I build sets. I'm a prop maker. Tying a tie, right, would be real, right? Exactly, right. So I'm a prop maker. I'm a carpenter for the movie industry, and so I help build a playhouse for the neighborhood. And it's 3 stories tall. It's got rock climbing wall. It's got 2 rope. You can climb the ropes, and the bottom parts are like stairs. You have different like ladders that are at an angle to help younger kids, and ladders that are straight up and down for older kids. Hidden doors, tunnels. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so that kind of stuff. Because the thing is, there's a reason our children are being given away, and it's like the people in power just they don't care about anything because they don't know you. You feel like they know you because they seem to care about everything you care about, but they don't know you. So if you died, they're not going to go to your funeral, and it's horrible. But yeah, so I want kids to know. And the thing about YouTube, okay, that's cool that politicians don't do is. You can come into my live and talk to me, and I'll talk right back to you. And if there's any confusion or anything, we'll figure it out. But when you watch the news, you can't ask a question. So it's just, this is what I have to say, and it doesn't matter if you don't understand it. Just know the bullet points. And I want it to be different. I want it to be, ask me the questions, and then if other like-minded people care about their political affiliation. If you want to answer questions, and I'm not going to tell people if I'm lying or not, but I'm going to reward them if they catch me lying. So that way you can see them when you watch the news and stuff, and you find them lying, you can send them an email, and you could post that online for social rewards. Then you'd be like, oh, look, blah, the news, here's the clip, but here's the proof. I Googled it, and it said, no, elephant buttholes don't smell like bubble gum if you clip your toenails in the morning. It's just absolutely wackadoo. They say things that are so untrue and so out of whack that you're being punked, you're being pranked, and we got to teach kids how to. Oh, I got chocolate in my teeth. It's my big old brownie. You got to teach kids how to, or anybody. I say kids because I'm almost 50, but even 20 and 30-year-olds, we got to teach people how to tell if they're being pranked. Because sometimes prankers are really good, especially if that's all they've been doing for 70 years or more. But yeah, and so we're gonna do that, and I'm really happy that my cousin Kat, we actually share a birthday. We were born on January 10th, 110. Years apart. She's decades younger than me. But I know a lot of things she doesn't know, and she knows a lot of things that I don't know. So part of the podcast is going to be that dynamic where we're going to talk about things. I'm going to teach her, she's going to teach me, and one of us is going to lie. And so if viewers catch the lie and send email in, then they'll be rewarded with a shout out. T-shirt, depending on like if it's once a week or once per episode, T-shirts and shout outs, links to their channel or the help with getting them going online. So and that's about the most, because so many people, or just say my name. Say my name, please. Please say my name. Because people want they want other people to know that they exist. And we'll say, spend seconds researching these things I say. Tell me which one's the lie, and we'll give you the shout out. Some shout outs. I say, well, I'm going to give you a super chat. Okay, you can do that too. Because you're going to learn. A fool and his money are quickly parted. So, we'll take your money. Obviously, we need to eat. And that's capitalism, but we want to teach you how not to lose your money, because at least you're getting something for your money. If you throw $5 at a super chat and somebody gives you the shout out that you want, you're happy. Some people go to a bar and spend $5, $8, $9, $10 on a drink. That makes them happy, and so, but no one else sees that. I mean, a couple people in the bar, but so like even though I'll have like 5 to 8 people in the chat, but if you look at the numbers after it's published, there'll be over 500 people that come in and out of this live. So and it's watched hundreds of times after it's published. So if you get a shout out, your name's out there, and it'll be clipped, and make YouTube shorts and TikToks with. So you'll get your name all over the place, your face all over the place. And all you got to do is listen to 5 to 10 minutes of a podcast that will also be funny and entertaining, and tell me which one's the lie. And if you really want to be cool, tell me if it's a lie on the mainstream media or newscast, and let me know what that is, so I can kind of play on it, and then you'll get too. So that's going to be the thing. We're going to use the shout out system as a form of currency to pay. Santiago says, even though you're so boring tonight, I'm still watching. Hey, Santiago, you didn't answer my question though, Santiago. Did you look at the you saw, I think I saw your reply. Maybe you made a comment. Did you see the last video for the I think you said you said hopefully it doesn't blow away in the storm for the Playhouse. But yeah, that thing's huge. Let me see if I can find a picture of it for you guys real quick. Okay, that's Allie still. Man, she's beautiful. Wow, I tell you what. There will be an age limit because I wonder how fair it'll be for younger folks to compete. Dude, it's cashed in. Oh, yeah, okay. You mean on the podcast? Yeah, yes. So part of it, right? It's gonna be you got to be under 18. Is pretty much what I want. But the problem with the YouTube channel. YouTube issues is I think from like it's only like 15 to 17 and a half is considered a preteen, so they're not considered children, and if you make things for children, because of what happened in the last 2 elections, so many kids were lied to that now you can't have a chat. You can't have a chat. So if this was for kids, if this post was for kids, you wouldn't have. There's no chat room. There's no chat box. You can't put it in a chat. And if I video like a YouTube short for kids, they can't leave comments because too many people are lying to these kids and then reinforcing the lie in the comments in the chat room that YouTube did away with it. That's how serious we're talking. YouTube changed a hundreds of billions of dollar company they do a year, and they changed it so that you can't manipulate kids in the comment section, because that's what was happening. And these kids, teachers, these kids 10 years ago that were 8, 9, 10 years ago are now in their 20s, and they're teaching our 8-year-olds. So yeah, so that it worked. Whoever came up with that prank, they definitely it worked. They pranked. They're like, ha, I made you think that cats could be dogs. That's crazy. But hey, if they can make you think that, then they'll say, and one side doesn't like cats, one side doesn't like dogs. You have to place not for kids. Right. Right, exactly. If you place not for kids, then high school ages. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because that's really when things can get. At high school age kids, I would say junior high to high school. So 14, 15. Because what sixth grade is 13 years old, right? So seventh and eighth junior high. Then ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th is considered high school. So I'd say 7th, 8th, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, and then fifth grade. I'm genius. But yeah, I agree. Well, and it's like I'm this the world is a game, and you got to play by the rules of the game. So whatever the rules are, like they'll kick you off, they'll cancel you, right, if you break their rules. So you got to play the game, and the rules of the game are you don't talk to kids under this age. So I'm not going with them. I'm not going to do like what you got this guy that was like join my so your parents don't hear us talking to each other. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't have any interest in doing that. When you should be digging holes in the backyard and playing with matchbox cars and trucks and stuff like that, you shouldn't be online listening to adults talk about adult topics. Dude, when I used to go rent my VHS tapes, you couldn't even like rated R plus and X stuff. You couldn't even see the cover art. That stuff was in a different room that you had to show your ID just to go into. And now it's online. Now it's in the you can rent corn in the libraries of some high schools. I mean books. Somebody said that they have educational instructional videos for non-straight. So because how other people not like their parents make love. No, they really don't. In the Bible, okay, this is what my mom told about the Bible. It says in the Bible, she told me that Adam never woke up. It only says when he went to sleep. So he said that, no, that's not true. That's 100% not true. I don't know why your mom. So, okay, hold on. She might have been pranking you. Okay, listen, Santiago. Check if she's pranking you. Do you have a Bible? Because Adam and Eve definitely woke up. He had children and stuff like that. So check your Bible and see if your mom is pranking you or not. She might be pranking you. So look at the Bible and find out for sure. She might be pranking you. Because the thing is, she might have asked you to read the Bible, and you said, okay, I'll read it. And then she says, do you know in the Bible when it says Adam went to sleep and it was a dream? Because that never happened. You say, yep. Nah, I pranked you because it didn't happen. Believe me. So check to see if you're being pranked. Yeah, that's what I would say. And then be like, Mom, you pranked me, but I found it out. Good prank, Mom. And key, I think, way to handle this type of stuff. And I'm not talking about like people on the path to salvation or whatever. I'm saying teach them how to research. They can be scientists, they can be pastors, but teach them how to research. Because the problem with social media and stuff is you can have people that can get hundreds of thousands of people. Yes, that would be very good. Yes. Ask her in the Bible where you can find it, where you can find that. Say that he didn't wake up or it was a dream. And I think you'll be very surprised. That's very important. The Bible is a awesome tome. It is beautiful. It's the best book manuscript ever put together. She's like, I'm gonna go ask my, but dude, she might be where in the world you are, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, right. The yeah. Wait till you have a family moment. Don't just go shake her, wake her up. Like maybe when you're having dinner tomorrow, be like, "Hey, Mom, remember when you said that Adam? Can you show me in the Bible where it is? And bring your Bible." But I have a Bible. I'll show you right here. Well, because I love it. I love it. I've researched every day, so I have my Holy Bible right there. So yeah, and I mean it's very inspiring, you know. And some people don't believe what I believe, and whatever. And if you want to know, I'll gladly teach you. If you don't, I won't. There's other things I can teach you, like how to find out if you're being pranked. And I honestly believe that this whole teach them that they're being pranked thing is probably the best way to undo this wackadoodle that's come down because we're being pranked. Trolling has become cool, pranks have become cool. And now we have people that are making so much money off of pranks. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. My brother, when I was very young, I used to eat very young. I was 10, 12, 13 years old. My cereal was Rice Krispies with a lot of sugar on it and a cut up banana on top. My brother replaced the sugar with salt. And I used about half a cup, probably a quarter cup at least, of sugar salt. Yes. And it's important. They're great. I mean, what's so wrong about not talking to your neighbor's wife and stuff like that, not killing people? What's so wrong about that? That's awesome. That's really cool. Great. I the way a lot of negative emotions are hell on earth, positive emotions are heaven on earth. So if you're happy, like the story I told earlier, that's so great. Salt, right? So and I did a big bowl. I didn't use there's like 2-inch high bowls. I used like a 3-inch high bowl that I would put like 3 servings of Rice Krispies in, and like I said, like a quarter cup of sugar, and dude, it was vomitous, vomitous. So that was a prank, and the reason that went too far is because it gave me a fear so I had to I never trusted the sugar anymore. So every time I would get sugar from a sugar bowl, I would taste a little bit first to make sure I didn't ruin my meal and puke in front of because I got pranked. Oh, who's that? We got Arissa. Arissa, what an awesome name. Arissa, hold on, how do you pronounce that? Kakorja? Kakorja. Kakorha. I hate blackmailing. They use scams like, oh, right, exactly. Right, that's right. They want to hurt you. They want to act like they're helping you. They act like they're helping you. They're going to say, I'm going to help you do better in Roblox, Robux. But then when you go to get them, then they're ripping you off and they're hurting you. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that other people do. And that when they say that cats can be dogs. Cats can't be dogs, but then you can go and you can tell everybody, hey, everybody, did you know that my cat Fido is, yeah, and the people are like, you just told all your friends cats can be dogs. I guess Marissa's 7 is what she was saying, but that stuff's so awesome. But yeah, that's I'm honored. The term would be, I'm honored to have people come through every day. And this is one thing that I think is very odd. Like you have that get on YouTube, and this guy I saw a piece about it on Reddit. Somebody said, I screwed up years ago. I had a gaming channel. My first video did 1,500. My second video 900. My third video 300. So I gave up because of the declining, the declining progression appeared to. But the thing is, I used to be a musician. I used to perform and tour. I in front of 3 people. I've traveled hundreds of miles to play in front of 5 people. Because it didn't sell. It didn't sell. But if you got 300, I know three more subscribers, and I get to 400. So right. So, but if you have 300 people watching your video, that's 300 people. But people, oh, there needs to be millions. If I don't get views like Mr. Beast, it's blah, blah, blah. No, man, no. You have hundreds of people that are watching you. Right, and so that guy was like, "Oh, maybe I screwed up because hundreds of people." I mean, think about people that have 0 views. You have 300, and just because so that that kind of thing. And kids need to know that because I think they should be communicating with people like this. So just because they start to lose, they lose momentum or they think they're losing momentum, they give up. So it's the people that don't give up that get rewarded. And that's the way it works in life. If you don't give up, you're rewarded. So YouTube needs to post ads. They need content to post ads on. They don't care what your content is as long as it doesn't break the terms of service. So you can do anything. Like some people eat starch with a soap bar. Some people are super fat and they just take off their shirt and they draw stuff on their man boobs. But they got hundreds of people watching them. And so whatever. So that's whatever. So me talking about my chickens and my brownies and my podcast and stuff, I've got thousands of people that watch my videos. But it's only 1.5 thousand, and if you had 1,000 people in your bedroom every night watching your videos, watching your performance, don't you think that's pretty awesome? You're just upset that you don't have 10 million? Yeah, that's crazy. No, if you got 7 people watching you, if you got 300 people watching your videos, that's 300 people watching your videos. I know you're not monetized, but if you make a T-shirt or whatever, and you say, "Hey guys, if you want to support me by buying my T-shirts, they're $10." If those 300 people buy your T-shirt, that's $3,000. If you make $3,000 a month, you're rich. Freaking. When I was little, since I got scammed because I saw a website that said Robux. I put my username, but now I don't know how many times I did it, but I learned my lesson, right? Never trust, right? People, nothing's for free. Nothing's free except for knowledge and the man upstairs. That's the only thing on this earth that's free. If it's coming from the lips of another man or a person, a person on earth, nothing's for free. People, if they wouldn't be giving you Robux, they know that you want the game, and you ask your mom, "Can I get some Robux? I get some Robux." Your mom says, "No, no, 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 no." And then you have somebody come along and say, "I'll give you Robux. Just grab your mom's credit card out of her purse and type the number in. She'll be so happy when you win Roblox." Yeah, it's bullcrap, and that's why kids shouldn't be. They're easily manipulated. So if they tell you cats can be dogs, it's just they'll believe it. Just like you believed the person was going to give you Robux, you believe that. So if an adult tells you cats can be dogs, you're going to believe them because you're told that adults are the teachers. But you have to learn when you're being pranked because adults can be pranksters or scammers. Sometimes it's a scam. If it's for money, it's usually a scam. But if it's just for social stuff, then it's pranking. So if they just want you to, wear women's clothes and be like, blah, 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 they're going to be like, ha, ha, ha. And I'm saying if they make you do that, if you want to do it, have fun, But, if they convince you of it, they're trying to prank you. That's what's important to know is when you're being pranked. But yeah, there's people out there that sling those Robux scams and stuff, and that's been going on forever. And even you got to watch out for scams. And that's the thing. We have scammers in Congress, and they're scamming people because people don't know how to know that they're being scammed or how to do research. So now Santiago, if you would have went to Google and put the person's name in to Google and put free Robux, does this work? Then you would have got a lot of information that says no, they scammed me, they got my car, they got my house, and then you would have put your information in, right? Because you would have checked first, you would have verified that person was saying was true, not a prank or a scam. So kids that need to be taught that, they're not taught that. They're not. And businesses are allowed to lie in their advertising up to a point. They can't say, yeah. So that's what I want to do. I want to help kids, anybody. I want to help everybody learn how not to get scammed by doing research first. And it takes 2 seconds. You can talk to your phone. You can say, we can do this. Watch, we're going to do it right now. Right now. Okay, we're going to go to my phone, and we're going to say, I was offered free Robux from a guy online. Is it a scam? What's it say? It says yes, offering free Robux online. Damn it, I can't do it. Yes, offering free Robux online is almost always a scam. Be wary of anyone promising free Robux or other valuable items. These are likely attempts to steal your account information to trick you into clicking malicious links. Okay, so did you see how long that took me, Santiago? It took me 3 seconds. 3 seconds. And now I know it's a scam. Don't. You're trying to prank me. You're trying to scam me. And then you block these people in your life because you don't want them coming back saying, no, I promise it's not a scam. Key, I appreciate you, brother. I do too. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I know. I appreciate you being in there. Santiago, I hope that you picked up a lot of information, and I'm glad that you keep coming in too. I'm going to get to bed, so I got to be up at 6, which is 4 hours and 45 minutes. So I'll be online at 7 Eastern. But yes, I appreciate you guys for being here. Santiago, Key, thank you very much. And it's a pleasure. Thank you guys. I love being with you guys. Thank you much. Good night.